My daughter doesn't want to go on our date, and I'm trying not to be sad. I, 35 male, have a daughter who recently turned 13. Her mom passed away when she was only 3. Throughout the years I have always made sure to empower my daughter just to make sure she is an independent, young and smart woman. But even though my daughter is smart, I as a dad worry about her ending up in a bad and toxic relationship. So over the years I made it a thing for twice a year I take her out on a date somewhere fancy for dinner. I always get her flowers and let her always order whatever she wants from the menu. We have done this since she was 5, so it has been going on for twice a year for about 8 years. Last night I asked her where she wanted to go for our date so I can start make reservations. She asked if we had to do that. I told her of course we didn't have to, but also asked why she didn't want to. She said she thinks it's becoming babyish and she thinks she told old to still be going on daddy-daughter dates. I told her I get it and we don't have to anymore. I tried to play it off and act like I didn't mind, but man does this hurt. Soon she probably won't want to hang out with me at all, and I get she is growing up, but man, she is still a little girl in my eyes. As a former 13-year-old daughter, now a 35-year-old daughter. I promise you, with every ounce of my being, you have already made a world of difference for her regarding her future relationships, both with herself and with others. And she will one day come back and tell you she wants to do the daddy-daughter dates again. You giving her those examples of what treatment to accept is admirable. You allowing her to voice her request to stop the dates and accepting her decision without resistance is exceptionally vital and sets the precedent that her declination is heard and powerful. You have taught her that no is a full sentence. That's the best gift you could have given her. Way to go, Dad. As the dad of a 5-year-old girl, I may or may not be crying at my desk at work while reading this. We don't do anything quite this formal, but she's the type of kid that always wants to be doing what I'm doing. If I'm outside grilling, she's out there with me. If I go to the driving range, she begs to come. I know that won't last forever, and this post just gives me the motivation to always try to include her in things as much as possible, for one day it will end. She is at an age where you should emphasize the date and flowers part, and just take her out to dinner at her choice of restaurants and talk and listen. You have already imparted the lesson you wanted to, and her speaking up is evidence of this. I remember being a teen and not wanting to be out in public with my parents. I felt like people older or my age would make fun of me. Sure, looking back it's ridiculous, but it was just a phase I went through. She's growing. It will change again. I'm 29 and my dad still invites me on dates. All 3 of his girls at least once a year. I live out of state, so we normally do it when I'm in town or he visits me. We normally use that time to catch up, if his way of giving each one of us a day. LOL, now it's just dinner, but we all get a nice meal individually once a year. My boyfriend thought it was weird, but now want to do it if he ever has daughters. I didn't go on a date with my dad my junior year because of some friends, but then I realized I missed out. My husband is out hooking up with a woman as we speak. After he cheated on me with multiple women, I just gave up on him. Told him I never wanted to sleep with him again. And that he had my permission to sleep with others. We have 3 small children and I'm pregnant, probably with twins. I just want to be a mother and not share my children. He's providing a great life for me and the children, and I have everything I wish for except for him. But he's ruined for me now. He's not mine anymore. Apart from that, I have everything I wish for. He gets mad when I can't have him touch me anymore, so he will make sure that I know he's meeting somebody. Then he gets mad that I don't try to stop him seeing her. Would he rather have me not approve of his affairs? Does he want to cheat? Why does he want me to suffer? Damn, he sounds like a head case. Sounds like he wants you to feel all weepy, but when you're not, it really bothers him. Just be careful it doesn't escalate, him trying to provoke a reaction out of you. Eventually he is gonna find the woman he wants to be with, not you, and he is gonna run away with her, leaving you and your children high and dry. I hope you have a contingency plan for when that happens. Am I the only one confused on how did she get pregnant when he allegedly never touched her since the cheating? Damn, you can do whatever you want when you're rich. Maybe you have everything you want, but what about your kids? You think it's healthy and appropriate to expose them to a man that wants their mother to suffer? Is that the role model you want your 5 children to have? That is a miserable way to live. Obviously, he does not respect or love you. To jeopardize your mental and emotional health for his amusement is disgusting and petty. Have some self-love and respect for yourself. Leave or suffer in silence. I got a girl pregnant that I barely know and she wants to keep the baby. Back in June, my family and I, 18 male, went on a cruise for vacation. For anyone who hasn't been on a cruise, it's basically a giant all-inclusive party. So while my parents had spa appointments or lounged by the pool, I would just go to the clubs or the pool bar and just have fun. I met a girl, 18 female, on the cruise the first night we were there and we just instantly clicked. She's gorgeous, funny, and we had a lot in common. We exchanged numbers and hung out again the next day too. Her family was staying just 1 day shy of mine and we pretty much hung out the rest of her trip. We did hook up more than once, so obviously we had a lot of fun together. We Snapchatted some after the trip, but she lives in South Carolina and I live in Florida, so we didn't really talk and just kinda moved on. Then one random day while I was working, she called me like 3 times. I hadn't heard from her in weeks, so I thought it was weird. I stepped out into the back and gave her a call. That's when she told me that she was pregnant. I was in complete shock. We used condoms and everything. And also she sounded very excited, not upset or anything. I asked her what she wanted to do and if she needed money, and she was confused. She said that obviously she was keeping it. Well, that's just not something that I agree on. I understand it is her body and her choice, but the logistics just don't make sense. She's 10 weeks now, we've talked on the phone since that first call and I've gone over options with her. She fully expects me to move to South Carolina to be with her and help her raise it. This is my first week of college and I told her I intend to graduate here. I can't afford an out-of-state school, I can't afford to just move, how am I supposed to afford a kid? And we don't even have a relationship. Yes, we got along well, but that's completely different than being a parent with someone. She thinks we can just try co-parenting, but I still would have to move for that to work out. It just seems that she has this big delusional plan and she doesn't understand why it won't just work out. She thinks I'm the one preventing it from working because I refuse to move. I don't know how else to explain to her that this just won't work. Edit, we did use condoms. And a lot of people have asked this, but some were hers and some were mine. I didn't notice anything off about either, but I'll also admit that I fully utilized the open bar the majority of the trip. Also, it was from June 26th to July 2nd. I don't know how pregnancy math works, but the comments are all over the place on that. I guess I'll just post updates on my page, telling my parents today. Kill me. Update, I got a girl pregnant that I barely know and she wants to keep the baby. Sorry it's been a bit, but I've had just a lot going on the past 2 days obviously. I did tell my parents, they were pretty surprised and disappointed, but also agreed that we don't even know for sure if it is mine. This also isn't their first rodeo with all this. My brother knocked up his high school sweetheart, so we're just doing a great job of making them proud. They have a lawyer that they've used, so we were able to have a call with him. He actually helped me draft up a text to send to her, basically saying that I won't respond until a DNA test can be done. They do have non-invasive tests they can perform while she's pregnant, they are just expensive. My parents offered to help me out with the costs, but I'm just going to suck it up and cover it. I texted her that and didn't reply to anything she sent. She went off on a tangent about how I'm the only person she's slept with in months, it's fate, we're meant to be together and all that. Then there was silence for a bit and then she finally agreed to do a test. My parents' lawyer found a doctor that can perform it, and we scheduled it for next Tuesday. So I'll be driving up to South Carolina just for the test and coming back down. I really don't want to miss much class, but apparently not many places are open this weekend BC of the holiday. She still texts me and tries to FaceTime me. I haven't had the heart to send anything back outside of just planning to go up there for the test. She's trying to plan for me to meet her parents, go to dinner and all that, but that's not what this trip is for. She added me to a baby Pinterest board, asked me about names. I just can't handle it. I also made an appointment with my doctor to look into getting a vasectomy because this has just scared the shit out of me and I'd rather not have it ever happen again.